Let's move on. NCAA tournament. Tennessee gets a 2 seed. We all expected. They're going to Charlotte, North Carolina, in the Spectrum Center, not Time Warner Cable Arena, like I said last week on the show. They just released the game times while we were talking here. Tennessee will play Thursday night. I'm thankful for this game time. I know a lot of people may not, but 9:20 p.m. on TNT. Taking on the St. Peter's Peacocks. And if you've heard that name before, it's because they beat Kentucky 2 years ago as a 15 seed. This is a totally different team than played Kentucky a couple years ago. I looked them up, and I was on the Hoop Southbound podcast before we jumped on and recording ours. They are pretty atrocious offensively. They were the 5 seed in the MAAC conference. They were 19-13 overall, 12-8 in the conference. Won the conference tournament as a 5 seed. So they got hot here at the end, but a pretty good defensive team. Their numbers defensively are top 100 in most categories, but their offensive numbers are pretty low. They're pretty near the bottom in a lot of major offensive categories.
39.7 field goal percentage, the worst in the MAC conference.
Yeah, it's not good. They're not very good offensively. Their best win of the year was against Fairfield, and that came in the tournament. Tennessee has a series history here. Tennessee is 1-0 against St. Peter's. They won 54-40 in 1984 at Stokely.
Nice.
BPI has Tennessee 98% chance to win. Last betting odds I saw, Tennessee favored by 19.5 points. I think what we can do here is just pick the Midwest bracket, and then we can talk about, any other things that we see around the other regions. But so before we get into it, Harbin, you raised your hand. You have a question, so I'll allow it.
Not necessarily a question. Just wanted to run over a couple things. I went through their schedule. They're 19-13. They won 3 conference games to get there. But notable games, just games that I thought that they played somebody halfway decent or with name recognition. In November, they played Seton Hall, lost by 11. In December, they played Rutgers and got beat 71-40. Yes, Rutgers.
The Rutgers.
Yes. And their most notable win, I don't know if this team is as good as Fairfield, but their coach is Rick Pitino. Iona. They beat Iona. Shit. They beat Iona 69-57 in like January or something.
You do realize that Rick Pitino is not at Iona anymore, right?
Well, I obviously didn't realize that, or I wouldn't have said it.
He's at St. John's now.
That's right. Damn it, I didn't know that. Former coach of Iona.
What?
It stays in their blood.
What?
I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
He got ejected the other night.
Yes, he did.
It's been a long weekend.
He's fired up.
Also, I want to do a little segment. If you know the answer, don't blurt it out. But let's play a game where we guess what state St. Peter's is in. Do y'all know the answer, both of y'all?
No.
I do.
All right. Montana, you and I are both going to guess.
Okay.
My guess, just off rip, is Pennsylvania.
I'm going to go Florida, St. Petersburg.
Harbin's close.
Sorry.
You don't have to apologize.
I was also context closed because they're in MAC.
I'm Googling it just to be sure I knew, but they are where do you think they're at? That's not the MAC. This is the MAAC.
It's the MAC.
Yeah. Mid-Atlantic Athletic Conference, I think is what that is.
I don't go by conference alignment because, I mean,
that's true.
The ACC is just ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure they're in New Jersey or New York. Let's look it up.
That checks out.
I just went for Florida.
All right. St. Peter's University is a private Jesuit university in Jersey City, New Jersey. Founded in 1872.
Damn Jezebel.
So So
Yep.
when you get, I remember this from a couple years ago when they beat Kentucky. Somebody posted this. I'll have to see if I can find it. They put, this team just beat Kentucky. Look at their gym compared to Rupp Arena. So Rupp Arena
Yeah.
is a 24,000 seat Thompson Bowling top. And it looked like St. Peter's was playing in Jim Williams Gymnasium over here in Carter.
Yeah.
I mean, it was probably about that many people. Seriously, if you look it up, it's kind of
Fun fact, I bought a St. Peter's t-shirt, peacock t-shirt after they beat Kentucky. And I thought about wearing it tonight, but I didn't.
Did you see the tweet St. Peter's put out? It was Wesley Snipes holding a gun, crying, and he said their caption said, "I'm sorry, Tennessee," because we always had like a love affair after
Yeah.
they beat
Kentucky.
Kentucky. So I
Yeah.
responded with the Obi-Wan Kenobi, "You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you." After he chopped all of his limbs off.
Yeah.
Did you know, I didn't get this thrown out on the Hoop Southbound podcast because I didn't see it in time, but Zakai Ziegler's brother is a guard for St. Peter's, Armani Ziegler, and he actually plays.
Yeah.
So Ziegler's going to get to play against his brother. That's really cool. Just throwing that out there. Awesome story.
I didn't know that until I saw it in the text thread with us earlier. I wonder if he used to sneak on trains and stuff too.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah. I got so tired of hearing that story.
So do we think St. Peter's gives Tennessee any trouble? I mean, is there any cause for concern here? I know they beat Kentucky a couple years ago as a 15 seed, but I honestly, after looking them up, I don't think this is the same top team that Kentucky played a couple years ago. Now they've won a few games here in a row to get to this point, so that's something to be said for that. But y'all have any concerns going into this game that Tennessee might trip up and lose? I think there's always a concern, but because it's March, but does it happen? Harbin, I'll start with you.
I mean, I doubt it. I mean, you never know. It's like you said. But just to keep it real, I mean, this team's not very good. Going into their conference tournament, they were 16-13. They started playing some of their best ball at the end, which they're riding a hot streak. But we're pissed off coming out of the tournament. I mean, you lose to Kentucky. Yeah, I hope we are. I mean, I would assume so. Just competitive spirit, playing at that high of a level. You lose to Kentucky on senior day. You chalk that up as a meaningless game. Whatever. You can argue that. I disagree with that, but I digress. Then you get absolutely throttled by Mississippi State. If you lose that in a close game on some BS, whatever, we got dominated. When you're as good as we are and you have as many upperclassmen as we do, I think pride kicks in. And you're like, we're not going out like this. We're too damn good to go out like this. Be honest with you, I think we cover. I think we handled them. And I hope we get matched up with Virginia. Texas is super athletic. I don't think it's a great matchup for us in the round of 32. I don't really want to start looking ahead too much, but I'd much rather play Virginia or Colorado State than Texas. But I do think we beat St. Peter's in the 25 to 30 range.
Big Montana, any concerns on this game from you?
No, I don't know if we cover or not because, I mean, these are the teams that come out and they have nothing to lose. They get, a free trip, and of course everybody gets a free trip, but it's something that it's huge for their school. It's a little bitty school. These are the teams that, that's why it's called March Madness. But I definitely seen it being a 15-point game. And I just hope Tennessee comes out and plays like Tennessee can. If they play against Mississippi State, it's going to be a damn rock fight. but I don't see that happening. I think we win. I don't know if we cover or not, but I think we win that game pretty easily.
I agree. I think we move on to the round of 32.